Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today we're going over the second album of Lime Cordiale and their album called 14 Steps to a Better You. So this is a band, an Australian band that I came across over a Sticky Fingers Spotify radio playlist, and I was just listening to them because I adore those guys, and so I listened to more stuff that was similar to them. Came across this guy or these two duos. Sorry, something on my screen. There we go. These two duos, and just lost it. I just love their sound, and one of the song just love all their sounds. They're very similar to Sticky Fingers, but have a more, how do I explain it? It's like it's the same road, but with their own little stank to it, and I love it. So they also I also came across one of their covers from Triple J. What they did like a version when they did Touch Myself by Divine, and it was amazing. Or Divinity. It was amazing. So I'm gonna go over this album, talk about pieces of it and everything, and my favorite parts of the album, and let's get into it. So the first song I immediately liked. This song, I assuming that when I say 14 Steps to a Better You, due to the fact there is 14 songs on this, I already knew exactly what they're going for, so I was so excited for it. So that in the first song exactly does that. It's pretty much talking about, I think it's talking about enjoying your life and going at your own flow, not with everybody else's direction, not caring what everybody else is doing. Do what you do. So if you happen to be wasting time, who cares? Wasting time is a kind of a thing that only certain people will only see it in different ways. It depends on how you see it. If you don't feel like you're wasting time, you're not wasting time. But if other people are telling you you're wasting time and you don't really feel like that's so, that's completely up to you. One of the things he says is let's waste some time. We are here until we die. That's life. And one of the things he also says is when you're nearly dead, you'll see that the waster is really you. Pretty much saying just when you waste so much time, wasting time is less damaging than when you're wasting time worrying about what other people are thinking that you're wasting time, kind of thing. I don't know. I just seen it as go your own flow, do your own thing. When you want to do it, you do it. Who cares about what they think? They don't really know who you are or what you're actually doing. They don't know you as yourself. Robbery, love Robbery. I listened to it before. This was one of the singles that came before the album. Sung about how he had a hook up with this girl, and then she kind of just left. She stole his heart, and so he's trying to look for her and find her, and I just love the sound. I love the production. I love his, wait, that's her. I love that part. And so I love that song. I really love it. Love it. Inappropriate Behaviour was interesting. This one's talking about how his girlfriend's friend is putting a wedge between their relationship by saying things to the girlfriend oh, he's an asshole, he's a dick, he's doing all these things. And so she completely believes her because they're friends, I'm guessing. And so she starts applying that stuff onto him, saying, you don't do this to me, you don't do this for me, kind of thing. And he's like, where is this coming from? I do. Or these things, who's telling you these things? That's never happened in our relationship, kind of thing. And so he says that. One of the things he says, now she takes the cake, putting words in your mouth. And she pretty much and he's saying, I'm just going, this is just a mess, complete mess. And madness is what I'm going to go through if this is what I'm going to continue, if this is the type of life we're going to live as a couple. Addicted to the Sunshine is also a very interesting one. It's so sunny and upbeat production-wise, but the actual talk is much more serious. It's pretty much talking about the ignorance that people have, and the blind eye that they put onto the world, and how we're the damage that we're doing to it. And we also, I heard this before in one of these movies I was watching before, like a couple weeks ago that they talk about, like, humans are the one of the only people that take from nature but never give anything back. And I feel like it's exactly what they're saying. Like, we take, but we never really give anything back to give the full circle. And he says, if you love her the way in that way, you'll listen to what your mother says. Give a little bit if you're going to take. And I think mother might be talking about Mother Nature, when it's just like the idea of like you taking all of that stuff from it, the nurture and the nature of everything that she's providing, and you never get anything back. On Our Own was another interesting song. It's the first time we start getting a production other than them. This is helped by David Hammer, who also helped produce Fundamentals, which is, I love them too. But yeah, so I love this song because it has a great nod to a weird relationship that just like that they isolate themselves from their friends, and it to circle around each other this whole time, and they just pretty much bit their own foot off, because at the end of it the relationship didn't work, so now they're screwed because all their friends that they isolated from are still isolated from them. So it's just like, but they're so isolated so in that case they even isolate themselves from each other, the couple. So he's pretty much saying, like, what's the thing I got? He says, what I need is no one locking me down, running around free because I'm already out. I think what he's saying is that they're so isolated from each other, and they're so isolated from everybody else. He's like, I might as well get out anyway because I'm already out as it is. What's another one I like is Dirt Cheap. Beautiful song, so romantic, so cute. And I feel like it's pretty much saying like he loves this girl so much, and their love is pretty dirt cheap. Like, there's no money costs to it or anything. He says, I love you whole, you're like gold to me, my love is dirt cheap, and you have me sold. The cheaper to love, the sweeter to love, cheaper to love, the sweeter to love. And he says that, like, just like, when you don't put all that, when you just love each other for what you are, and you don't add the money and everything to it, I don't know. But, like, I feel like it's just, like, the love is really great in this. Can't Take the Blame is also interesting. I love other pieces, the things that they talk about in these relationships, or with themselves, is some pieces of it's like, wow, that's interesting. That's an interesting topic. I haven't heard that one. This one's also another one. It's talking about, Can't Take All the Blame, is talking about how he is with this girl, but going off, now that I think about it, maybe going off on Our Own, maybe it's the same relationship, because it's talking about how he hasn't seen his friends, he hardly sees his friends. He says, I can't take all the blame that I hardly see my friends. You say that you're low maintenance, but I am constantly on edge. So he's pretty much saying that this girl is very like high maintenance, yet she says she was low maintenance, and all these things are going on, and I think he's taking the blame for himself, but he's also saying that, like, because he's taking the blame, I think that she's letting it happen, that, oh, it's your fault, and she's kind of blaming on him, playing the blame game, which he says, and he's like, I can't take all the blame, because there's more, I'm also affected by this as well, you know? So the chorus says, just let it slide, I need this time to to be simple me, you happen way too suddenly. I think what he's saying is that maybe the relationship happened way too soon of his, like, whatever life issue was, or life progress was going on at that moment for him specifically. I think that he jumped into the relationship a little too soon than expected, so now everything's a mess and everything's crazy because they didn't really take the time to build it to when they're both were ready for that type of commitment. So I love that. Dear London is a very interesting one too. I didn't get the lyrics, I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere, so I had to listen really intently. This song pretty much starts off with says, Dear London, I love you, but I feel unwelcome when I stay. And there's like there's rain falling in the background, you can hear it in the production, and he's like, I'm in hell, but I'll stay. And it's just, it seems like he has love-hate relationship with London. He, like, excuse me, there's some problematic things that go on that he doesn't feel welcome in it, but at the same time he loves it for what it is. And then finally, my favorite song of all of the album is "Falling Fools." Fools. I thought it was way simpler of a song than it actually is. So this song is pretty much about them talking about themselves being a good role model, or try to be a good role model for the underaged people that go to their shows, like under 18 people, and in that way they'll prevent these kids from following fools, which is what they say is what they're talking about is these bad role models of musicians and bands that people admire and idolize, but they're completely bad examples. What could cause their very highly sponge absorbed information kids to think, oh, that's how we're supposed to act. Okay, I'll do the same thing, you know. And so he says, which is, I think, roll with me for a minute. So he says, a man without a cause / or man with many clothes. I think it has to do with without a cause. Doesn't fully understand. Left unfixed, but he wants to take your hand. Left unfixed, but he wants to take your hand. Pretty much that bad role model is completely, obviously a mess, but he wants to take your hand. He wants to be your role model, even though he knows, and you know, that he's a hot mess. One thing that they end with, which I thought was amazing, was when you got love for yourself, you stop following fools. And it's like, wow. It's totally true. When you don't have, like, I think everybody, it's the whole, like, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else kind of thing. But I think it's just like when you have that sense of purpose and self, you definitely see through all these fools that want to influence you, that are not good, definitely not good company. So I really, really, really love that. Love that song. This is a really good album. I love the idea of the whole album. I think 6 to 10, or 6 to 9, or no, 6 to 8. 7 and 8, song 7 and 8, I feel like, it was kind of in and out, but I do love this album. I give it a 8 out of 10. And that's pretty much it for this album. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought about the album. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you all in the next video.